Hey everybody. All right, I want to show you this from Anonymous, or We're Anonymous from 89HQ. China criticizes the U.S. for human rights violations. For decades, the United States has led the developed world in pointing mass human rights violations taking place in China. However, China just returned the favor in a report released in China's Xinhuanet. Features officials who blast the U.S. for rampant violations in civil rights. China's State Council Information Office stated Americans' police were not taking care of crimes. Law enforcement authorities were run with a loose rein, and some even turning a blind eye to fugitives. Police officers ignoring yada yada yada. Sex crimes on a regular basis. A report released in November. I'm just trying to get to the good stuff, folks. Inspector General of New Orleans found that a bunch of sex crimes happened, assigned to 5 offices. All right, let's see here. This is a big one, folks. But basically, this seems to be their 2 talking points. But the Chinese report coincided with a report by the Free Thought Project, which had also showed police becoming worse in solving crimes despite there being a reduction in overall crime being committed. In the United States, the murder clearance in 1956 was at 90%. Since the inception of the war on drugs, the murder clearance rates plummeted on average to 65% per year, which is good. This decline is in spite of being far fewer murders. It is also in spite of new technological development help police solve crimes with DNA testing, forensic labs, unethical spying, devices like Stingray, and various others. These devices, never intended to solve crimes, but they do use it to eavesdrop on people, etc. I'm trying to find the part here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, here we go. This is the part of China. The Chinese report had still more to say. There is an excessive use of violence by police. The Wall Street Journal reported December 3, 2014, many law enforcement agencies did not submit statistics about killings by police when enforcing laws to the FBI. The report found 1,800 police killings took place in 105 departments between 2007 and 2012. The Associated Press reported December 7, 2014, that at least 400 deaths happened every year as a result of law enforcement activities by U.S. police officers. China has a population of 4.5 times that of the United States and has only 12 killings by law enforcement officers in 2014. Law enforcement in the United States supposedly have killed 92 times more than a country 4.5 times its size. So, this is actually what they're saying here. We all know this to be true, and this isn't even about a question of whether or not it is or it isn't. We know that our government is out of control. I was talking with someone more recently who's a retired police officer of the Detroit homicide unit, and he works up at somewhere as an instructor, and he basically said that he does not trust any officer currently in service. He says he would actually believe that his life would be almost 10 times more in danger if he did not instruct the officer that he wanted to actually get checked out by or inside the grounds of the actual police station. This is a guy who had 20-some years in it. He says, nope, I don't trust those guys. Most of them think they're CIA. Most of them don't do their job. They don't want the cleanup duties. They want this. They don't want that. Again, this is his personal opinion, but, he says, that he does not trust them. And I think the whole world is looking at the United States like, God, we're going to have to come here eventually and save what is left of these people. because the government is going to do something incredibly stupid, and it is going to implode at some point. They're stretching the dollar till it bursts. And when it finally bursts, that's when the UN and almost all major countries are going to have to come in here to bring back the United States to, at least I'm hoping, some kind of former glory. But under TPP and everything else, it'll be run by the random laws thereof. So what we knew as a republic under the 50 states will probably be run... my cat's in the background. That's funny as hell. Let's see. Can I see? Nope, you can't see my cursor. Okay, he's in the background licking himself. He's in a box. Don't worry about it. But that's what everybody's actually saying. And they're saying that it's going to get so bad that, you know, all these crisis actor shootings and all this other shit's going to get so bad that eventually the dollar is going to fall, which they say is coming. I don't believe September, October, because they said that a while back. I believe there's going to be several more bubbles before the initial fall. And I basically believe that the whole world's going to have to come here and basically do what they did in Europe during World War II and, you know, have each major country come and pick a state to rebuild it. Well, in that case, and what you're basically doing is rebuilding it as a company, as it is under the United Kingdom, the U.S. corporation. And basically, you're going to have a board of regents. Basically, one country elects somebody per state, and those guys are going to report to the 4 or 5 heads of the judges that are overseeing the U.S. Recovery. And that's basically how the country is going to be built. And, you know, it's not going to be the United States of America anymore. And so many people, including China, is saying, we got to just, you know, all this stuff is happening and we have to step in. And sooner or later, we're going to have to step in. I mean, that's just bad. I mean, I've heard it across the board. Germany, Russia, China. Even North Korea came out one time and said, you know, the U.S. is getting so bad they don't even bother to look for U.S. anymore. I don't know how true that is, obviously, but, you know, I mean, America has become the joke of the world right now. And it's all because of some international banker hype that, you know, basically brought down the greatest country there was. And I never thought in my lifetime that I would see this in this country. And now we're getting, you know, kicked in the head by China. I mean, obviously, this is just one piece, and China didn't even say a whole lot, but they're right. But the problem is the population. Everybody wants the population to go down because whenever you sit down with the statistics of anything, you know that there's a breaking point, and the breaking point comes from the number of people. I sat down with, this is a few years back now, in one of my economics classes, and we drew out a bill, I think it was a financial bill, basically, for a draft for some congressional thing or another. And we basically put down all the research, and basically the idea was, what would it take to make every single American have a certain standard of life to where they had, you know, a vehicle, a place to live, food every day, etc. Well, what it really came down to is how basically the prison system works. And if you're willing to live in like a senior center, basically what we ended up doing, except for an advanced senior center where you had pools, rec rooms, and instead of having your own car, you had like Uber has where you can rent them and everything else. Yeah, society would be a hell of a lot cheaper. Problem is, most of the things we take for granted, our home, our cutting our grass and everything, is gone in a heartbeat. And at that point, what really happens is you have basically a bunch of sloths that grow up not able to do anything. They're basically run on government programs and basically just left in a system to die. I mean, they don't really do anything. That's what it basically came down to, because that's what happens at senior care centers. So this idea that, you know, everybody should have a farm or everybody should have a amount of land, it isn't a reality that we can actually put forward because there's too many people. Now, yes, everybody should have a quarter acre or, you know, 6 acres or whatever your number is. That's fine. But the reality is that you can't make it happen right now. There's too many people. There's too few resources and too few old people who are willing to step aside and allow the young people to reclaim and do what they were sent there to do, but they destroyed the entire system by doing it. And we got Hillary that's going to be in office soon, and I believe it beyond any reasonable doubt. I have no doubt in my mind that Hillary will become the next U.S. presidential candidate and become the next U.S. president. I have absolutely no feelings whatsoever that she has any competition. I mean, Trump, they're laughing at Trump. Trump is nothing. He's never been, never will be. Jeb, I'd like to think he has a shot, but I see the power that the Clintons have, and I don't think it's going to happen. And one of the rumors going around about Clinton, and who knows if this is actually true, but she was actually supposed to be, and who knows, it could be true, I don't know, folks. She was actually supposed to have been Hitler's daughter, or like granddaughter or something. The story I actually heard was something along the lines of she was given up to one of the baby agencies, and before Hitler left Germany, and you know what, I'm just going to fast forward on the bullshit that he blew up in a bunker, or killed himself in a bunker, because even the FBI has come out about that and said, no, he didn't kill himself in the bunker. So, if she was born, let me just see real quick. You're not going to be able to see it because I'm just looking it up real quick. Let me see real quick. That's if they have her birth down on Wikipedia. I know, Wikipedia, but it does have general facts. Wait 1 second, I'll share the info with you. Typing Hillary Rodham. Right. And as you can see here, folks, born October 26, 1947. Okay. Hillary Rodham Clinton. So, I don't believe that all the major things about these politicians' background is true. I don't. But I still believe she is the candidate that is going to win the presidency. And she's the one that's finally going to put the last nail in the coffin for the United States Republic, I believe, beyond any reasonable doubt. She's going to cause the collapse to where all these international groups, like Planning America, International Red Cross, almost every major company from almost every major country is going to have to come in after the event to rebuild the United States. And I do believe that. I believe that beyond any reasonable doubt. I always have and I always will. I don't believe in all this, you know, the devil's doing this, the devil's doing that with, you know, Obama and stuff, but I do believe that Hillary is going to be the nail in the coffin lid, the final nail in the coffin lid. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, you know, when George Bush came in office, we had 9/11. We had the crisis of the banks and everything before Obama took office a little bit, but we didn't really feel the totalness of it until after he came in. And, you know, the real estate market and everything collapsed. I really believe, folks, beyond any reasonable doubt, this next presidency will be the end of what we know as a republic.